Here it is. Happy almost end of the year. I guess this will be the last time I see you guys in 2020 because, yeah, by the time I see you again, it'll be, the next year, the next new year. So let me get started by saying thank you to everybody. I want to make sure I get this in now before my voice gets tired or anything you hear is a little scratchy. I just want to thank, all of the people who have supported this channel for this past year. 2020 has been a rough one for everybody. Even in spite of the financial struggles a lot of people have been through, they have managed to, be generous enough to donate at least a few dollars to help support the expenses of doing all this stuff for the channel. And I want you to know I appreciate it. All the Patreon subscribers, no matter how small, how large, how often, whatever, you guys are always thoughtful and considerate of me and Lady Boss because I share with her. So, she started doing this on a volunteer basis, but, woman is just too consistent. So I do, want to show her some appreciation. So you guys help me do that. You surprise me with great, enthusiastic responses and comments to the videos. And, you cheer us on and provide us with topics. And it's just been really, really great knowing all of you this year. And, I just want to take a minute to, let you know how much I appreciate you being here. So with that said, oh Diana, your gifts came. Let me see, how can I put this in code? Three of them made it. Okay, but it's just one of me, so that works. Okay. Uh, and everybody, let's get started. What you got going today is a relationship advice live stream. The show has been on the air for 3+ years. And we do this most Tuesdays. Sometimes it's switched to Wednesday. But what we do is people submit advice questions in advance. My cousin goes through them. They appear in this column in a printed document that I read to you and respond off the cuff. So I hear the questions the first time when you hear the questions. So we're hearing them together. Today's question, today's column rather, has 22 questions in it. 22 questions. That seems to be our new normal. Yes, I gave you guys a holiday background today. I meant to put it up last week, but I forgot. So sorry, it's coming late post Christmas. All right, you guys ready? 22 questions. We're going to be here for a minute. Question number one. This is from a female 22 to 30 out of Topeka, Kansas. We have been dating for 4 years, engaged last Valentine's Day. I'm 27, he's 30. We're getting married May 22nd next year. I have a set of fraternal twins, one female, one male, both 5 years old. The whole time his mother implies that I'm marrying her son for his money. He's an attorney, so he does make good money, but I'm a paralegal and I make a good living too. I'm able to support myself and the kids very, very well. All of our needs are met. I'm usually able to save most of the child support and bank accounts for the kids' future education. At family holidays, she totally ignores my children. I don't expect her to want to be a grandmother figure to them, but I thought she'd want to get to know them a little bit because they will be siblings when he and I have children together. She will bring her grandchildren toys and candy, won't even say hi to my kids. The kids even think it's weird, and when they try to share, she says, "Oh no, I brought that for you. Their daddy can buy them candy." Oh no, 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 no. She is also constantly asking about my ex and seeing if we've talked lately. I think she wants us to get back together. He actually wants to sign his parental rights over to my fiance. Anytime she's with my kids, anytime she's my kid, I don't know what she meant to write there, with a toy or book, she asks if my fiance bought it for them. Oh, she must have meant she sees my kids with the toy or book. I've tried to talk to her about her interests and mine too and be friendly. Now I'd settle for her just to be civil to my children and I. I know it also sets my fiance that she doesn't like me. I'm very willing to put in the effort to build a relationship with her. Everyone else in his family loves me and accepts the kids. Do you have any advice for me? Yes, you need to cuss that bitch out. Well, you don't have to do that, but let me tell you what you really need to do. Your boyfriend, he might be a lawyer and all that wonderful stuff, but he's not standing up to his mother because what he's supposed to do is tell his mother, I what you're doing to these little 5-year-old kids is fucking unacceptable. You are not going to do this. If this is the attitude that you want to have, you won't see any of us at any holiday celebrations from now until the day that they throw dirt on your ugly, dried up face. That's what's going to happen because you disrespecting. When you disrespect her, you disrespect those kids I love. You disrespect me, and I'm not going to fucking have it. That's what he's supposed to tell his mother. And preferably right in front of everybody at the next holiday gathering. That would make an impression to put that bitch in check. To do this to 5-year-old babies is totally unacceptable. Everybody else in his family that sat there and watched her say that to those kids was supposed to also step in and check that hoe. But nobody's saying anything. This is how you know these some white folks. Because this would never go down in no black family, and you know this. This just not gonna happen. I mean, this kind of stuff here is, I mean, it's just so far fetched that this mother is acting like this. And I'm like, somebody was telling me today about this show called I'm Married to a Mama's Boy or something like that. Now I don't know if he's on that level. Doesn't sound he sounds like he's more independent than that. However, what amazes me is how many men, they respect their mothers, but they don't demand that their mothers respect them back. So in a situation like this, his mother's showing him marked disrespect. This is the woman he loves and wants to marry. These are little kids that he loves too. And so it's like you're basically telling your son that he's stupid. In fact, that he has all these, accolades and accomplishments in his life because it's not easy to be a good attorney and to make money at it. I mean, a lot of people have a JD, but they're doing something else. They're not good attorneys. So he is evidently a really, he's good at it. So he's making a lot of money at it. So she's not giving him any credit for his abilities, his decisiveness, his stick-to-itiveness, his independence. So that's what you need to do. You need to have a talk with your dude and say, look, the only person who can put a stop to this is you. You say you don't like it, but what are you doing to let other people know that? By being quiet about it, you're basically being complicit. Giving your mother the impression that's okay since you're not checking her. So I need to see something from you that shows me that we're on the same team with this. Because she's pushing me into a corner and I have to defend my children. You let her say something to one of my kids and they start to cry, you're gonna see a whole new side of me. So before that happens, you need to intervene. I'm begging you to do this. Okay? You put it that way. It's like, I need you to do this. Whatever way he's going to work with your dude and to motivate him. But that's what needs to happen. Because, see, me, yeah, that show, I watched a couple of clips. Honey, I could not, I cannot. I just could not. All them women would have getting cussed out. I don't know what's wrong with them girls on that show. But this is, you guys are just much too timid and too you better stand up for your kids. I'm telling you, if that had been me and she said some shit like that to my kids, the whole house would have been turned out, turned with a T. And she would have got to see, yeah, I might have a paralegal certificate and be all of that at work, but right now I'm getting ready to show you the filmo, okay? Because just what you get ready to see. You think you'd be talking to my 5-year-old kids like that, bitch, you crazy. And that would have been just the beginning. Yes, honey. Faith, the more I see the TV shows, they just get trashier and trashier. That's why I watch Netflix and I watch Korean dramas. At least they have some, storylines and it's something interesting. But that stuff, I just was sitting there like at my computer. Okay, so let's move on to question number 2 here. The film. Okay, anyway, let me stop. So I'm just getting warmed up for my New Year's party. Female, 40 to 49, USA. Oh, no city, just says USA. Hi, Deb. I've recently become a huge fan of yours and know you are the perfect person to tell me if I'm overreacting to my current situation. Hmm. I love these kind of intros. It's always like intriguing. Yeah, I be watching those videos, so I have to know all the latest dances my little cousins be teaching me too. Um, She says, my friends and family seem to think I've gone crazy. They're begging me to reconsider my decision, but I'm adamant about following through. Wow, this sounds I'm kind of scared now. This is what happened. I have been happily married, or so I thought, for 13 years. We have no children. My husband and I have always enjoyed great emotionally intimate relationship and sex life, but on Black Friday, where we were driving home from a day of shopping, my husband asked me how I would feel about engaging in threesomes and orgies. Ooh, help me, Lord. Since his brother and sister in law had an open marriage, I knew instantly that he was serious and wanted to start experimenting. Deb, I was so shocked and hurt that I got out of the car at a red light and ran away from him. Wow. After that, he was blowing my phone up and sending apology texts, but I didn't want to hear it. Girl, you're going to have to read in the chat because they over there going crazy. Um, Wow. That same day, I checked into a hotel and have not seen him since, not even for Christmas. All I could do the rest of the weekend was stew in anger and betrayal. I always thought I was enough for my husband, but apparently not. The thought of sharing our marital bed with anyone else sickens me, so the following Monday, I called an attorney and initiated divorce proceedings. Ooh, girlfriend is serious. All I feel now for my husband is numbness and loathing. He has been reached out to me through friends and family begging me to return and talk to him, but I refuse. All I think about is him wanting to be with other women, so I'm going to give him his wish. I refuse to ever let him touch me again. I know from watching your videos that if a man is speaking about other women, then he's thinking about other women, and I will not be talked into living this sick lifestyle to keep my marriage. If I wanted to be with other people, I would have stayed single. Since he is a handsome man, a wonderful provider, all the people around me seem to think I'm nuts for letting him go. But I don't care about money. I can make it on my own. Everyone seems to be on his side and normalizing his desires. What? So I want no part of them either. I'm so happy you wrote to me. Deb, what do you think? Am I overreacting by wanting a divorce so quickly, or should I stay in a marriage with a man who obviously wants other women? This just will never work for me because I have zero tolerance. Cuss me out if you need to, but I desperately need your opinion here. Thank you so much. Oh, no, I'm not going to cuss you out. As a matter of fact, I want to give you a standing ovation. Number one, for being a woman who knows what the fuck she wants. Number two, a woman who has boundaries and stands up for herself. Number three, a woman who's not going to take any kind of bullshit from a man just to say that she's married. What kind of marriage is that if you have something where his values and what he's trying to push down your throat are in complete opposition to what you committed to when you married him? You didn't agree to that. He done changed the contract up on you now, and you's like, deuce out. So no, you get like humdulillah and rounds of applause and bows and all kind of stuff because you are the first woman who has ever written my column in all the years I have been doing it to make such a decisive move in her own best interest, not waiting 5 seconds. You was like out the car and on about your business. See? Yeah, third, but see, this is what I tell you guys. This is a perfect example of it. How a husband can be like all these women bragging, well, my husband this and my husband that. And they can do that. But I always caution them, okay, well, it's great that he hasn't done that yet. And then they look at me crazy, like, what do you mean yet? And it's like, girlfriend, it's coming. It's just whatever kind of, they always fuck up. And I don't mean it like in a way to like it's gonna be a fatal one, but the woman should be to be aware of the fact that your husband has feet of clay and he's human and he's gonna do something stupid. It's just a matter of when, not if. When. So for her, this is just this you recognize the fact that you bending and changing your stance about what you want for yourself and your marriage to meet his demand for some freak shit is going to put you in a position where you're not going to like yourself because everything that you stand for, everything that you wanted in a marriage, everything you thought your husband was and your marriage was, and everything that you stand for as a woman, as a married woman, would go up in smoke the second you acquiesce to his demand. The second that some third party jumped in your bed and he got what he wanted at your expense, emotional, mental, psychological, physical, possibly, if they had came up with some disease and become a stalker or something, it's just opening up Pandora's box. You looked in there and you said, oh no, I don't want that. I don't want that. Bye bye. And so there you go. So I say, this is like one of the best letters. If you thought I was going to cuss you out for this, you were so wrong. This you right on the page. I be trying to get everybody on. Zero tolerance for bullshit. Zero, none, nada. And so that's where you are. Good for you. So you make your own money. Um, I don't know where did it say you were. I think it just say USA. Yeah, so I don't know where in the country you are. Those laws are different from state to state. But 13 years, if he's making way more money than you, and this is how things are going to end up, he is going to be sorry. He should have understood. You didn't marry your brother's wife, and you're not his brother's wife, and he's not his brother. That's not the kind of marriage that you signed on for, and that's the kind of thing I think more women need to stick to. I didn't agree to this. This is not how I chose to marry you. This wasn't what we agreed to. You want to change shit and make it something different, I'm out. Okay, I'm not saying you can't do it and you couldn't have it, but you're going to have it with someone else, sir. It's not going to be with me, you know Oh, she would just be miserable. At this way, I mean, there's going to be, of course, some emotional pain. I'm not saying it's going to be a wonderful experience for you or anything like that. I mean, of course, you got to grieve 13 years of marriage and the loss of what you thought you had. That's going to be some real pain, to just brace yourself. But the fact that, it's you get to have some anger in there too. So you're not going to hurt as much as some people would when they just feel totally, like he cheated or something. This guy presented you with some bullshit, and so you have a whole different focus as you leave your marriage than someone who feels victimized. See, your choice is one to maintain your power and your strength and your self-esteem. So you're coming at this from a completely different angle than a woman who left a marriage where she caught her man, in bed with somebody or something like that. Totally different perspective. So you, I think, will come out all right. I love how you think. And honey, do you? Don't worry about him. There will be some man out there, if you want choose to get remarried, to be happy to have a woman who's all about him. Your man, he's stupid. Just hella stupid. Damn narcissist. Question number 3. This is from a young man, 22 to 30 age group from Toronto. Twice now I've mentioned this to girls and they unmatch me. So I want to ask you what I might be missing. So I'm on a few dating apps. Okay, that's your first mistake. And when speaking to other girls and get to know them, I've mentioned the following two things, and they always unmatch me, which I don't understand. Even after talking for days and days where the conversation is going really well. As soon as I mention either of the below, they unmatch. Number one, I run my own business doing mobile car repairs. And number two, I ask them how they are finding this dating app and how long they've been on it for. Is there something wrong with the above questions? I've noticed every single time I mention this to a girl, they unmatch me like right away. Which one is the problem and why is it a problem? Oh, this is a good question. Yeah, so he probably up there throwing up the dude. Hey, Sue, what's up? Okay, I'm gonna tell you. There's two things here that one is a definite problem. The other one is a potential. Okay, let's start with the potential. Saying you run your own business doing mobile car repairs. Unless a girl has been raised in a family environment where she's used to being around entrepreneurs, a lot of women that scares them because they want the steady dependability of a paycheck. They don't understand that companies go belly up, do cutbacks, layoffs, lose contracts, and have to. I mean, things happen in businesses, and so it affects their employees as well. What they can pay the employees, bonuses, all kind of stuff. So but I know a lot of women. Come across a lot of women in my lifetime who cannot even comprehend what is involved in running your own business, what kind of focus and determination that takes, especially for a guy as young as you, and what skills you have to be able to go out on the road without much in the way of equipment other than what fit in your van or pickup truck, diagnose cars and repair them. You are a very skilled mechanic. I dated a foreign car mechanic, so I know a lot about fixing cars. So for you to go and do that, that shows you have some good, really good skills. Number two, you ask them how they're finding this dating app and how long they've been on it for. I would think a lot of people would find that kind of intrusive and nosy, like none of your damn business kind of response. But they're not going to be like me and just tell you that's none of your damn business. They're going to do the passive aggressive thing and just unmatch you. But you're putting women in a very negative position when you ask something like that. How long they've been on the site? Why would you want to know? What difference does that make? Whether it was 1 hour or 100 years. I mean, what difference does it make? You talking to them now. Okay, that's all you need to worry about. And how are they finding it? Well, I mean, what are they gonna say to you since they found you on there? Oh, it sucks, and every guy I've met on here sucks. Because then you gotta say, well, is that including me? You see what I mean? That's a no win question. So what you might, ask them other stuff like, what is it that you really enjoy? Or what kind of things have you learned about yourself during this COVID year? Because let me tell you about what I learned. Okay, do you start off the conversation? Try to make it light and funny. Whatever kind of questions you ask in the early stages, you should be getting the girl to laugh and want to talk to you more, not jamming her up with some questions that's going to make her feel bad about herself and make her feel like a loser because she's been on the dating site for 3 months and she still hasn't met anybody. Stuff like that. You don't want to do that. And as far as your mobile car repair business, you might want to say, I've been to allay some of their fears. I never really was really good at working with people working at a company, but I worked at so and so place for so many years. I got all this experience. Plus, I worked on cars with my dad when I was growing up, so I knew a lot about cars. I'm like, oh, why would I let somebody else make all the money and I just get this hourly? So I started this little business, and it's been really great. And I have clients, and tell them something about the successfulness of your business to allay their fears that you are just a dusty bum talking about, yeah, yeah, because uh, yeah, I got me a business. I run a business. I'm a businessman. You know, I'm just telling you, that's how it is. Their business. They got a business. They want to start a business. They think about running a business. But you're actually doing it. So you want to talk about how long you've been doing it, whatever you found out about the business. I mean, something, make it funny. Your worst client, the car that wouldn't start. I mean, whatever you want to do, talk about something like that. Oh, I date car repair. Girl, you tripping. Plumbers, car mechanics, especially this dude was a foreign car mechanic. He was making $200,000 when even attorneys were barely making that much. So I was like, hmm. And pet jet pilots and stuff like that, please. You're missing out on a whole bunch of fun. Yeah, and then plus you never have to pay to get your car repaired. I mean, that alone was worth a fortune. So let's move on to question number 4. Female 31 to 39 from Atlanta. I desperately need your advice. Recently, I reached out to my cousin to ask for my birth father's address. I needed this information for a security clearance at work. She gave me his phone number. He wanted me to call, but I decided to text instead. He gave me the address, but is now pushing to meet me after 30 plus years of absence. A little background. He has lived basically 2 miles from my mom's house the whole childhood and has never reached out to me. He also would ignore me when he would see me at my grandmother's house. Wow, he's a Dusty. Do you think I should give him a chance to meet me or stay away from this Dusty? Hmm. Well, I can tell you're curious about him, and you're in the 31 to 39 age group now. So you could meet him. You meet him out someplace in public, and you sit there and you look at him and you let him look at you. If he asks you for anything, you say no. If he asks you to go somewhere with him, you say no, because you don't know this man. You don't know what kind of shit he's into. Be very leery of that. I don't trust these disappearing daddies, especially when the daughter's more, older, like the age they would date, and he doesn't know you. You're basically a stranger to him. Okay, keep that in mind. To you, he's his daddy. He is your daddy, but to him, you just a young woman that might be kind of hot. Okay, now I know this sounds disgusting, but this is real. This, the kind of stuff that happens out here in the real world. So, if you do something like that, like I said, you meet him in public, you do not give him your address. You make sure everybody who knows where you live does not give him your address. You don't want him showing up at your house or showing up at your house with one of his nasty friends saying, "Well, I want to introduce you to my daughter," this kind of stuff. No. So, you think of all the possible think of the upsides. Okay, and then think of the downsides. Make a list if you have to. I mean, is it going to bring you any benefit to meet this man? Think about that. What are those? If there won't be any benefit to your life to meeting him, then just let it go. He didn't seem to be too bothered about it for the past 30 years, so why should you? Okay? You sound like you get along fine to me. I'm just trying to say, I be like knowing stuff that sometimes I wish I didn't. But the stuff that people tell me, you know, I mean, now I'm older, and so now nothing shocks me. But when I was first hearing about these kind of stories like that about these fathers, and trying to set their daughters up to be pimped, all kind of stuff been going, getting them to sell drugs for them, hide drugs at their house, all kind of, using them for money, all kind of just trash stuff, using the girl's desire to have a relationship with her father against her. So before you meet him, like I said, you really think about it. Is it going to benefit you as an adult person to meet this man who never wanted to lay eyes on you, and even when he did, he ignored you? What's the benefit there for you? And be blunt with yourself. Don't be like, oh, but that's my daddy. Fuck all that. You think about, you know, the pros and cons. Yeah, but see, they don't think about it like that, Miss. Is that or 000? They don't think about it like this is my daughter. They don't know you. They haven't seen you. In 30 years, they have no relationship, no father daughter relationship with you. Look at what happens even when the girls do have the daddy and have a relationship with him. And you know what I mean? So I don't put nothing past these adult men with adult daughters just coming into their lives, all, boom, bang, boomed up and stuff, cute little face and whatnot, and young. It's the same age group that he would be hollering at on the street, but it's his daughter, okay? Just be real. Let's be real here. That's what we do on this show. We don't play around and we don't fantasize. I deal with reality. Even the men who could possibly keep it under wraps still think it. Look at what Donald Trump said about his daughter. Yes, she's hot, but if she was my daughter, I would date her. What father says that? That alone ought to show you. And this is a man who's the president of the country. And he was just real bold with it. But a lot of them think that. And you go on the popcorn sites, what kind of fantasy stuff do they have on there? Father daughter stuff. So don't think what I'm saying here has no bearing in fact. But you never mind all that because, you're going to think about this really hard. What's the benefit? And those in your family who may have dealt with dude, ask them what's going on with him in the present time, present sense. Is he going to be trying to come up and live at your house or something? Is he got a bad health and whatnot? Trying to make you be his nurse and purse? Oh, hell no. Stay your dusty ass right on over there where you were for the past 30 years and leave me alone. That would be me, but I'm not you. So you have to think about it and make a decision for yourself. Question number 5, female 22 to 30. It says no location provided. Deb, I found you on Reddit and saw where you were taking advice questions. I want to get your take on a question I posted on one of the forums there. This looks long. Oh, I guess it's not too bad. My older sister is 39 and she's constantly flirting with my husband. It's my final straw. I want to know how I can cut her off without alienating my teenage niece. My sister's a very self centered person. She loves attention, especially from men. She's constantly flirting with my husband, asking him whether he regrets the sister he chose. What? Is she still living? See, you notice some white folks. I'm sorry, y'all. It's just, the cultural difference is just too big to ignore. This bitch would have been dragged around the block by her weave. She is constantly flirting with him, okay, making sexual innuendos, even though we have both told her that it was inappropriate and to cut it out. We have even tried to cut her off, but made peace because I wanted to have a relationship with my niece. Milk toast. My sister honestly is not a very responsible parent. My niece frequently asks to come over, even offers to babysit our 3-year-old, and has stayed with me and my husband a couple of times, but my sister always makes a huge fuss and she moves back. My niece has told me that the constant parade of men she brings home makes her uncomfortable, and she would like her home to be a safe place. But the fact that these men come over to smoke, hang around, and sometimes they have sex with her mother makes her uncomfortable. I've told her that she's always welcome in my house, and my parents even told her she could move in with them. But I think she's not ready to admit defeat and move away from her mom. Honestly, this Christmas when we got together, the situation where we live is fine. She was doing the most to make me and my husband uncomfortable with her banter. And at one point, she straight up put my husband's hand on her boob to feel the sweater material. Oh, really? I just don't want to have to deal with her drama anymore. But at the same time, the last time we cut her off, she made it impossible for our niece to talk to us or visit us, and I don't want to abandon her like that. It's even possible to cut my sister off without cutting off my niece. You probably already know this, but yes, I'm a white girl. She says it right here, and my husband is white too. You're right. I already knew. I'm positively psychic. But not saying I'm holding that against you. What I want people to understand is this not a race thing. This is a culture thing, and in I just black women just tend to be more aggressive about that kind of stuff, and just wouldn't be taking it. Like she's something pushing up on my husband. Well, first my husband he would have cussed her out or something. Anyway, he didn't play that kind of shit. But for me, I would have been like all up in her face, probably snatched her by her hair and yanked her. I like to do put people right in my face so to make sure they hear and understand exactly what I'm saying to them. They can read my lips if they have trouble hearing because they got a real close view right here. And then I tell them what they best not do no more, or the hell's ass is about to get stomped into the ground. And it's like, bitch, don't keep it up because I will shoot you. I don't give a fuck about you being my sister. You will be my dead sister. How about that? And you one thing you need to understand too is your niece, that's her kid. Now your niece at 15 can go to social services and say, I'm terrified to be at my house because my mother has a parade of men there to come there and do drugs. And I'm scared one of them is going to assault me. I'm terrified in my bedroom. I'm going to go stay with my aunt. I feel safe there. Guess what? Social services will intervene and move you out of there and put you over at your aunt's house. Now that your niece though would have to do that. You can't do it. She's gonna have to go and tell them that she wants to be in foster care and she wants to go to stay with her aunt because she feels safe there and her 3-year-old cousin. And they will send a social worker over and they'll talk to you about it. And you'll talk to your husband and check out the house and see if she's got space there and stuff. So hopefully you have a space where you can have a room for her. And then it'll just happen. Your sister doesn't have to be involved with it at all, you know. Because yeah, well, the first step is going to, since she's a minor, she can't really petition the court. She has to do it. She has to have a legal representative. So she's going to have to go to social services herself, or she could go to the police. They used to be able to go to their school counselor, but now since schools are closed, that's not really an option. So, she's going to have to be more proactive and go to the law enforcement or social services herself. Child Protective Services is who she should make contact with, you know. Well, she might not want to live with them old ass people. You know, she want to live with her auntie and the baby, and that's fine. Or they could get joint custody. The grandparents too. She could spend some time there. Whatever it is, anyway, she should be taken away from her mother. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, the sister. Oh no, I would beat her ass. And see, I'm wondering why the husband. See, your husband he's got that milk toast thing going on too. Because what he should have done is like, in front of everybody when she's clowning like this, say, bitch, who you think wants your trashy ass? Look at how you conduct yourself. You ain't nothing but a silly hoe. I'm not trying to be with you. My wife has class. You can't even spell it. You don't hold a candle to her. There's nothing you could do or say, no amount of titties you could show me or little X you could put on that's going to make me want you over her. So whatever kind of competition you trying to set up in your imagination, bitch, this shit's not going to work. Stop it. You look like a fool and you're embarrassing everybody in your family, including your daughter, acting like this. I'm not interested in you, never was, never will be. Okay, now if your husband would say something like that to her, she would stop. But since he doesn't say anything because he's a punk bitch motherfucker, then she gonna keep it up. And you like, oh, we did this and we did that. You didn't do shit. I'm just saying. I know how my husband would have been like, bitch. It'd have been a whole bunch of stuff. I never had to say anything in them situations. He always handled it. I would just sit back and watch the fireworks. And the feelings be hurt and the blood flow from people's bodies after he sliced them up. I didn't say nothing. I would just be like, wow, that was kind of amazing. And that wasn't me he was going off on. So, yeah, that's the story there. Okay, so that's what you need to do. Question number 6, female 18 to 21 from Ann Arbor. My boyfriend and I have been dating each other for 6 months. We have never talked about commitments, but he treated me like his girlfriend. Oh, here we go again. Problem is, I do not know where I stand with him. I brought up this topic and other things that are important to me, like the fact his phone calls and texts have decreased considerably. I've asked him why, and all he said was just not an opportune time. This is a BS answer. Most of his answers to things are excuses, vague, or just plain BS. What is going on when a guy won't give you a straight answer to question? That means he's on his way out, or if he's not already gone, you just don't get it. You just don't get it. You want to still call him your boyfriend when he's showing you that he's not. Okay? Because a man who's into a woman does not act like this. This is the way that somebody treats you when they just don't give a shit about you. He might, I'm not saying he didn't like you at one point, but he doesn't now. Okay? He's either like somebody else or is into something. I mean, I don't know what's going on with him, but he's not about you. Now that's all I know for a fact. Okay? Anything else would be conjecture. All I know is that he's not into you like you want him to be, and so you have to make a decision. Do you continue to grovel and beg for his time and attention, or do you cut him loose and move on like a G? Okay. hmm Question number 7. Female 31 to 39 out of the UK. I grew up as a scapegoat with a golden child sibling. I'm now 39 and have had problems with standing up for myself ever since. I've gotten better, but it took way too into my late 30s for it to happen. So you 39, so that means within just the last few years. But now I'm dealing with a lot of anger about the sheer horrendously large number of times I've let people walk all over me. Completely shitty people, too, who no sane, smart person would have entertained, where the normal reaction would have been to laugh at their demands and find it funny, choosing beggar style. I've in fact caved in and bent backwards. Wow. And now I'm so angry. Sadly, all those ships have obviously sailed, and I have no idea how to deal with this anger. I'm also having trouble with my existing close relationships because I'm suddenly realizing the people closest to me have taken me for granted too. I am angry and depressed, but mostly extremely sad for myself that I let this happen to me and only realized this so late in life. Okay, well, let me tell you how I do things like this. The main thing that you're mad about is the past. Right? You mad about the past. Can you change the past? Is your mad gonna fix the past? Is you crying about it, being upset and whining about it right to me going to make it any different? The answer to that question, in case you're confused, is no. So this what Deb does is when Deb does something that didn't really work out too well, or later in retrospect was probably kind of a dumb thing to do. You know what I do? I laugh about it and then I go on. I don't focus on it. If you stay focused over minutia and you constantly beat yourself over the head with it over and over and over again, you become fixated on that thing and you don't focus on the good things that came out of that, which is you finally learned a lesson. Okay, it may have taken a while, but you finally got it. So instead of beating yourself about stuff you can't change, you should be focused on the fact, wow, I'm finally recognizing when people aren't treating me well. Yay me. Girl, you go, girl. You doing this. You got this. You got this. Now there's no place to go but continue to going up, which you're doing because you're recognizing, you're looking around and you're saying, hey, well, these people are still in my life and they're not doing so hot either. Okay, so now you're figuring things out. Okay, you should be giving yourself kudos and applause for that, not beating yourself up over what spilled milk. You can't unspill it. Okay, so let's just move on from that. What you're going to start thinking about is um, what you can do in the future to make sure that this doesn't happen. What plans have you made? You didn't mention nothing about what you're going to do in the future or how you change. All you doing is just jumping and beating up yourself over and over about some shit that happened years ago. So you're going to have to sit down and say, okay, if someone comes at me and they try to do this and I don't want to do it, I'm going to say that. You probably need a script for a while because this is so new to you. And also, you're going to think about boundaries. There's a couple of videos on this channel about boundaries, so please watch them. It'll tell you how to set some up and give you some examples and how to find the strength to maintain those boundaries. One of the letters we just did where her husband wanted to do, I think, what letter was that, y'all? The letter number, 3 or something, where the lady wanted to, her husband wanted to do some old freak shit, and she said no. Nope. Not only did she say no, she called an attorney. She's filing for divorce. Okay, you know what? That's the lady. Listen to her letter. See how she handled that? She's like a G, like a extreme boss. And she's like, those are her boundaries, and she's sticking to them, and that's just it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no doubts. There's no questions. There's no room for negotiation. That's a boundary. Okay. And so you're going to learn how to do that. And then in the future, you won't ever, ever, ever have this problem again. People might accuse you of being mean, hard to deal with, cold, all kind of stuff. They're gonna say all kind of stuff when they used to you bending and flexing and giving them what they want or something. You're not doing it. They're gonna be shocked. They're gonna be appalled. They're gonna be stunned. But you know what? You don't worry about that. You worry about yourself. Okay. What's up? I'm just trying to tell you. These mean people. Yeah, she's feeling. I don't know. She's feeling stuck. She's feeling and she's just focused on the past. There's two things you could do. My dad used to tell me, you can't focus on the past. You can't focus on the past. And he taught me this when I was a little kid. I'm gonna share this with you. You can't focus on the past because if you walking forward or you're moving forward, you got to be looking ahead of you to make sure there's no ruts in the road, potholes, holes, and obstacles and stuff. You got to be able ready to jump over stuff, dodge, weave and bob and all this stuff. You got to keep your eyes forward, right? Now if you start looking backwards, you either going to stand still because you want to see everything that's going on already behind you, or you're going to be walking backwards at, of course, much slower pace, and you're going to stumble and fall because you're not watching the road. You're not watching. You're not aware. You don't know nothing because you're not looking ahead. So my dad used to tell me that, and so you can imagine it, right, a little kid, because I'm looking and I'm thinking about, I'm picturing this in my mind. And he's like, the goal is for you to look ahead and not just walk forward, but to be able to run. And in order to run, to accomplish your goals and get what you want out of life, you can't look behind you. You don't let nothing land on you that's gonna weigh you down. You're running at full clip to get to where you're trying to go. And I could identify with that because I used to run a lot. Probably how I jacked up on my knee so bad now. But I used to run like the wind, loved it. And so when he put it that way, I could understand what he meant. And so I don't never look behind me. I don't never worry about what happened, even what happened yesterday. I don't worry about it. Okay. So that's my suggestion to you. Just reframe your thinking. Reframe it. Question number 8. Male, 22 to 30 from Memphis. About 9 months ago, my girl at the time and I called things off because we was at different stages. We have spoken a few times between now and then, but not a lot. The last time we spoke was about 10 weeks ago. Hmm. It's her birthday the next few days, and I'll be messaging her happy birthday and all of that. I think this is a good opportunity to make some conversation and potentially see how the situation is now. Really? 10 weeks ago, 9 months ago. Hmm. 10 weeks is 10 and 2.5 months. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I understand. Don't get me wrong, I have come to terms with this being over, but at the same time, I certainly would not rule anything out. Has anyone gotten any suggestions on how I should approach this? Ladies, I do not want to give off the impression I am chasing her, but I would like to regain her interest and see where that takes me. Thanks. Okay. I have just one question for you. One question because you done already told me all I need to know. I called things off because we was at different stages. Now, are you at the stage where she is now? If you not, keep your raggedy ass text, keep your happy birthday, keep your gift, keep your raggedy conversation to your damn self. Because it's like, what, you not offering her nothing. Why would she want to come back and get back with you to the same bullshit that made you two break up? She knows what she wants. You didn't want to give it to her. So stay your dusty ass on over there, wherever the hell you are in Memphis, Tennessee. There, that's the answer to your question. Unless you're ready to step up and give that girl exactly what she wants, the way she wants it, willingly and with your whole heart, just stay your ass wherever you are. Okay? That's how that's going to work. Moving on, question number 9. Female, 22 to 30 from Tucson. I was chatting with a man I met online. He wanted to set up a Zoom date. Well, we don't know since he broke it off with her. She might not be, as emotionally moved on as he is. But the point is, they would still break up again anyway if he's not going to move, if he hasn't advanced to where she is. He said they was at different stages. So if he's not at the stage where she is now, what's the point of contacting her? She's going to still be at their stage. She might even be looking that higher now, wanting like marriage and babies and shit. Okay, I mean, if you're not willing to step up and give her whatever stage she's at to match her, then you're still incompatible. You're just as incompatible as you were when you broke up 9 months ago. Why are you bothering about, trying to bother her nerves? Leave her alone. Okay. Okay, so she's question 9, female 22 to 30 from Tucson. I was chatting with a man I met online. He wanted to set up a Zoom date. He was going to get me something to eat sent to my house, and we would chat online while we ate. He asked me how I would get ready for the date. I told him I haven't dressed up or worn makeup in such a long time, so would do that. He said, I prefer you don't wear too much makeup. I said, well, it's not about you. I wear it to make myself feel good. Then he tells me I should paint my nails, even though in one of our conversations I told him I don't do my nails. I was really turned off and told him he was too busy. I was too busy for a date because of Christmas coming. Not, I don't even want to chat with him anymore. I find that very controlling. Am I wrong? No, you're not wrong. And I hate how you guys, you ladies rather, this is worse. This is worse than bossy. Hold on, I'm getting dry throat. Um, this is worse than being bossy. This is very controlling. Now, there's a couple of mistakes here. Number one, he's going to get you something to eat sent to your house. Okay, you don't ever do that. You don't know this dude from a hole in the ground. You know he's going to get you, it's going to be on his account, right, with DoorDash or whatever they do, Uber Eats or whatever thing he does, right? So he can look on there and see where the delivery was. And now he has your address, where you live by yourself. Some clown that you met on an online dating site. Are you not aware that men on those sites are predators? They look for naive, gullible women like that would give out their address to a complete stranger in exchange for a 15.95 dinner. And then you end up dead because of a 15.95 dinner. You don't do that. Okay? He want to send something to your house. That should have been a red flag right there. Who does that? Who does that? Who even asked to do that? You should have hung up on him and blocked him that second. Okay, that should have told you right there that this is a predator. That's not normal behavior for a guy. Okay, that's not normal. Number two, he asked you how you would get ready for the date. I'm gonna turn on my computer. That's how I'm gonna get ready for what? What are you trying to say here? It's not a fucking date, motherfucker. I'm on my computer and you're on yours. You at your house and I'm in mine. This is not a date. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, and then he wants you to not wear too much makeup. Yeah, I would have just like I told you guys on some other things. The dude want to see his woman in makeup. I would have come on there looking just like the Joker, Heath Ledger style. Say, well, you said you didn't like a lot of makeup, but how about this? This isn't really a lot. And do your nails and all this stuff. Oh my God. It's like you want to see some nails done, motherfucker, do your own. Get off my phone. I would have been done with him. Well, I'm telling you, looking like a clown, I would have straight clowned him. Clowned him. He would have never forgot that conversation. You said you prefer that people not wear too much makeup, but I like makeup. How do you like this look? No. I don't know. These guys, these online dating thing, these men, something's wrong with them. I mean, I don't know. Is it just me? Am I the only one who sees these kind of things as so risky and ridiculous? Soon as he would have asked me for my address to send me something to eat, I'd have been like, no, thank you. I feed myself quite well. You don't need to know where I live. I mean, that's the first thing that jumped out at me. And then that she just like glossed over that part. She was talking about the makeup and the nails and the hair. I'm trying to tell you, honey, Heath Ledger, that makeup was just out of control. But yeah, I would have came on there looking just like that. Hi, so good to meet you. So no, you're not wrong. You just block him. Question number 10. This is a male in the 22 to 30 age group from Seattle. I'm not transphobic or prejudiced of any kind. This is just a weird situation for me. I find it difficult to navigate and talk about. but I came across a couple of your videos on the trans agenda and thought you would be a good person to ask this question. I was in a relationship for 5 years with a woman who is now 28. I am now 29. The woman in the situation is now a trans man. Oh, this bitch crazy. When we first got together, neither of us were in the best spot in life, and together we really made things a lot better for each other. I've never been with anyone I felt so comfortable with, and vice versa. We didn't really have any issues until the last couple of months. She reflect. Okay, no, he said they. You know, he's all indoctrinated into this trans thing. When they start referring to people as they is plural for more than one person. Okay, but somehow they have adopted that as their new acronym, so they don't have to be a he or a she. I call him he or she every fucking time. No, he's not about to be gay. He's about to be single. I can tell by the way he set this up. This he's not gonna be with her. When we first got together, okay, wait. They reflected a lot during quarantine and found that they were more comfortable using them and they pronouns. I don't have any issue with this, and it didn't really change anything aside from them wearing looser clothes more often, which I only noticed because they pointed it out to me. We never really had any issues around any of this. Things were pretty much exactly the same. They made friends in the LGBT community, and they were my friends too. But after a while, they decided they wanted to be a man and started acting and doing things very differently. I really did try to keep going, but things were just too different. I'm a straight guy. I was in love with them, so I really tried to make it work like they wanted. But the person they become is a completely different person and not someone I'm in love with. I asked to talk to them and told them I could no longer be with them as I was not attracted to them physically or emotionally anymore. They asked why I was subtly transphobic, and I explained that I'm not. I just can't be with them as I feel uncomfortable with the way they act towards me. They kept wanting to have their arm around me in that classic dude with his arm around a girl way. Has been drinking low, so always smells his beer. They speak differently too and just seem really grumpy and a bit possessive. They have basically become a very stereotypical guy, making me uncomfortable because I just feel like our interactions and relationship has changed so much. They begged me not to leave and said they only came up this way because they knew I'd support them and they wouldn't have to been able to do it otherwise. I sympathize, I really do, and they helped me through a lot of stuff. I apologize all I could, but transitioning is surely for the individual person themselves, not for them around them. I honestly am happy for anyone who want to live their true life. Yeah, whatever. Okay, but if I stayed, I would be miserable and it wouldn't be fair to either of us. They seemed to understand and we both cried a lot, and then I started the process of moving out. We were on okay terms, but breaking up honestly changed a lot, and it finally felt like we were both moving forward. They were fine as they had their friends to support them, and I'd been pretty well too, doing well too until recently. I suddenly got messages from their friends berating me for leaving my ex and calling me a transphobe, etc. I went to message my ex about it and they blocked me. I made another profile and went to theirs. They'd written loads of posts about me being transphobic and stuff like that, none of which is true. I messaged them, but no reply. Their friends even messaged my friends and family saying stuff about me. See, I don't know what to do now. I'm not transphobic at all, and I don't know how to deal with everything being said about me. I thought I was clear to my ex about why I was leaving, and it wasn't trans. Okay, this is what you got to do. Wait a minute, you work so fucking much. I have to go back and see how. Okay, you only 22 to 30 age group. Let's see. Oh, you're 20. You're 29, and she's 28 now. After 5 years of being in a relationship together. Okay, this is what you have to do next time or post on one of their responses to you. Yes, I'm transphobic and I don't want to be with no woman with my girlfriend looking like a dude like me. So if that's what you want to call transphobic, have at it. Don't change shit in my world, whether you call me that or not. See, I don't mind because online they call me all kind of stuff. You think I give a fuck? It don't change shit here. I still don't think a man can become a woman and a woman can't become a man. I don't give a fuck what you think about it. You can call me every name under the sun. You can bully me till the sun comes home. But you know what? I'm bulletproof. Bulletproof. There's nothing you can do or say to me that's going to make me change my mind and accept that bullshit. And if you got your mind made up, dude, just like she made a person, she thinks she gonna put on some pants and start hugging people different and drinking beer and become a man, then you don't have to put up with that. That's not what you signed up for. That wasn't the agreement under which you entered a relationship with her. She was a she and she was happy to be one. Now she want to be a dude. You ain't gay, so what the fuck you want to be dating a dude for? She can call herself whatever she want to, including a frog and a freak and a bird. But that doesn't mean that you want to date it and you don't have to. And they can call you whatever the fuck they want to. You could take the clip from this video and you could email it to them and let them know. Don't nobody give a fuck about your name calling, little bully ass people. Gonna call somebody's family and stuff like that, trying to bully people into accepting their bullshit instead of just saying, if that's what you want to choose to do for yourself, then do it. But nobody else has to believe in what you believe. You can't force nobody to accept your shit. Fuck out of here with that. You know what I mean? And that's the part that drives me crazy. It's like, they say, well, I'm going to be a man and you have to accept me. No, I don't. You got a pussy, bitch. Your ass is a girl. Okay, I don't give a fuck what else you say. Nothing about you is going to ever grow a dick on you and had hormones and testosterone and shit like that, like men have. You can get all the surgery you want to. Guess what? You still a woman. You was born one and you're going to die one, and anything else in between is just your fucking imagination. And that's just the way it is. But I'll tell you, thousands of them have said all kind of crazy shit to me. You know what? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. And I let them know I don't give a fuck. I, I was going, so what if I'm transphobic? How does that change anything in your life? How does it change anything in mine? I'm still going to be the same. Exactly the same. Yeah. So, don't worry about them, dude. I'm telling you, but you're going to have to come hard. You're going to have to say, look, you fucked up bitch. Ain't nobody trying to be with you. You confused about what gender you are and all kind of shit. I want to date a girl who knows she's a girl. I'm not trying to be bothered with your ass. And there's nothing you could do to make me change my mind. And you want to call names and act foolish and call my parents and all kind of stupid ass shit. That just lets me know that I was right, that you a crazy hoe. And I'm glad I don't want to be bothered with you because you've done nothing to convince me that I was wrong and everything to convince me I made a solid and sound decision to get away from your crazy, confused bitch ass. I'm like, psh. Somebody I'm dating, some man I'm dating, come telling me I'm changing to a woman. You know how they beep beep, Roadrunner does beep beep, and you see the little smoke? That would be me. I'm not dealing with that. Question number 11, female 22 to 30, Miramar, Florida. I've been cleaning like crazy the last few weeks. Shit, come to my house. Today I've decided to go through my jewelry box. What have you done with jewelry from an ex? What do you suggest that I do with it? I know I'll never wear it. Should I pawn it? Sell it on eBay? Give it away? What do you suggest I do? Well, if it's worth anything, I kept it. Because, you never know. You might need it for a rainy day to pawn it. So I have it. So, just in case. Because you just never know. There's a stuff that was, like little trinkety stuff, I mean, nice, but it was costume jewelry, whatever. I would probably put it in a box and regift it. That was my favorite thing to do. Regift it to my little teenage cousins and stuff. They didn't know it was. I mean, nobody would need to know where it came from except for me. So you put it in a box, the gift box with the little cotton pad thing in there, and then you lay the little necklace there, the little bracelet there and stuff, and then you wrap it in the gift paper and you give it to them. They don't know. Yeah. But like the pearls and stuff, I kept that in case I might need to pawn that bitch. All right, moving on. Question number 12. Female 30 to 39 from Pasadena, Texas. My boyfriend and I have been together for 6 years, and we generally don't take holidays too seriously. We've never had Christmas trees, and we don't do Valentine's Day or anything, and I'm fine with that. Wow, that's a boring relationship. That said, we have exchanged Christmas gifts in the past. We are upper middle class and employed in safe industries and professions, so we have money. This year, I bought him a custom shadow box table for his UCS Millennium Falcon for around 700 US dollars. $700. It looks amazing in our game room. Yeah, y'all have money if you got a whole separate room just devoted to gaming. He didn't buy me anything. I'm not that into gifts or anything, but my parents even spent more money on us than he did. I'm feeling resentful. I told him what I wanted for Christmas several times earlier and have expressed disappointment in not getting anything. Am I selfish? Have I done enough to convey my feelings? What do I do next? I would take that custom shadow box table, whatever this, I don't even know what that is, but whatever it is, I'm sure it could fetch a handy price on eBay. And I would sell that bitch. And then when he came home, it would be gone. And I said, well, since you didn't give me anything, then I didn't get you anything either. And got my money back. That's what I did to one of my boyfriends. That's a man cave toy. Well, whatever. He don't need it. It would be sold to eBay on eBay. That's what that would be. So, this thing here, I don't do that kind of stuff. My boyfriend, I had bought him a Willie Smith shirt and some other kind of designer jeans for his birthday present, right? in San Francisco when I went to visit my parents. I'll fly back to Texas and I give him the stuff, right? Oh, and some perfume. That's right. Not perfume, not what the men call it, aftershave stuff. And so I got, I hooked homeboy up because I was at home. And so, and my aunt worked at the Emporium, so I got the employee discount on top of that. It was wonderful. So then we go, so something happened and he told me something about, that I should have done something different with the present or something. Anyway, it was some kind of unappreciative comment. I don't remember exactly what it was now, it's so long ago. But I was like just looking at him. So then when he left his house, right, I was there. Got the shirt out the thing and I got the jeans out because they still had the price tag on them. And I went down to the post office and I put them in a box with the receipt and told my mother to take them back to the Emporium for me and get my money back. Then I took the cologne because, he had used it, so I couldn't return that. But what I did do was get in my car and go out around Loop 610 until I hit Highway 59. And then I drove on 59 and I flung it out the window, going about 70 miles an hour. And so then he asked me about it. And I said, oh, I sent it back to San Francisco to get my money back. And he's like, well, what about my cologne? And I said, well, all I can tell you is Highway 59 smelling real good right about now. He was so mad. But see, I was like 19. I was already a bitch. But it's like, what you want from me? You didn't show any proper appreciation. So guess what? I am rescinding my gifts. So for you, young lady, that's what I suggest you do. And personally, if I had a boyfriend like this, I wouldn't have him very long. Couldn't do it. Like me and this dude, we broke up. Not because of that, but that was like a chink in the armor, and it went downhill from there. But the me that I am now, I would have broke up over that. But at the time I was still young, and I thought, oh, we can get through this. That fantasy shit that you have when you're young. Yeah, he was so mad. He was so mad, and I felt stupid. I spent about $50 or something. I mean, for a college student, that was a lot of money. That shows you how much I loved him. But after that, I didn't love him no more. My feelings turned off like a switch, and I looked at him, and I was just all I felt was disgust. So, yeah, they've been together 6 years, but obviously she takes holidays more seriously than what she wants to admit. Question number 13, female 31 to 39 in London. My boyfriend, let's call him Pete, is 33 and we have been dating for 2 years. This Christmas was our first one living together and due to everything. It was just us and my daughter, who is 7. My daughter decided she wanted to get Pete something for Christmas and we looked for absolutely weeks for his gift. She put a lot of thought into it and everything went well on Christmas. Come time to put daughter to bed and she gets a little irritable. She got up early and with all the excitement was a little crabby and threw a tantrum. Honestly, it didn't even involve Pete at all. All she did was cry, and that was out of tiredness. Pete got irritated, stood up, and obnoxiously threw his gift in the bin right in front of my daughter and left. This hurt my daughter in the moment, but she's been too preoccupied with her presence and hasn't mentioned it since. He's apologized, but I haven't responded, and I don't even know what to do about it. You fire him. That's what you do. Why is this even a question? Why is this a question? You don't let people treat your kids like that. He totally disrespected you and he hurt your daughter and he basically was telling her, you and your mama ain't shit and I don't give a fuck about this raggedy gift or you. That's what he was telling you by that move. See, men, a lot of times they're not going to tell you with words. I told you they don't talk with words. They speak with action and somebody doing something like this in front of a child, he did it purposely to hurt her, right? To do it in front of a 7-year-old. He had no regard for this child's feelings at all. Girlfriend, this is not anybody that you want to have in a parental role around your child. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. If he doesn't have any kind of respect. And I'm very leery of men who show this kind of attitude around little girls. Because if he doesn't respect her in this kind of way, and he has weird boundary things going on in his head, see, then he would do something else when she got around 12 or 13 and start getting her little boobs and all this stuff. See, and then you want to kill him, and it would just be this whole big old deal. So he's already showing you his character right now. This is not somebody you want to have around a child. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. Get rid of him before you end up in prison. Okay? Or your daughter be all fucked up for life and then you be mad talking about, oh, why didn't I get rid of him? You do it now because he's showing you what kind of man he is. He's trash. What is that noise? Okay, question 14, female 22 to 30 from Apple Valley, California. Hi, Deb. I'm writing this question for a friend of mine who just turned 30. This question might seem shallow to some, but she is genuinely concerned. So she met her husband, who's a registered nurse, when she was a struggling artist at 28. He took care of her during that time and even moved her into his house while encouraging her to pursue her dreams. Well, since then, times have changed. She learned to better utilize her skills, play her cards right, and she's made lots of money this year. Lots. And she put that in all caps. She was definitely out earned him by a landslide. While I reassured her that he was a good man, that everything would be fine, and that she need not worry about him feeling emasculated, I can't help but feel that I was being naive. Deb, I'm so happy for my friend. I truly want what's best for her. While I don't want her to worry unnecessarily, I also don't want her to end up being screwed over on the basis that he might feel emasculated. Any advice for a woman in such a situation? Okay, I'm not hearing where he said, or done anything that would make her feel like that. This is all y'all, might, maybe, future talk based on what? You didn't give me any facts to go on. All you told me is that well, she's making more money than him. But what does he say? How has he reacted? That's the information that I need. You didn't provide anything like that. Just all this conjecture and fantasy thinking of y'all talking about the money that she makes. Until there's a problem, don't create one. Okay, if dude ain't done nothing or said nothing that indicates he has a problem with her out earning him, then then stop it. It's nothing to worry about. Yeah, registered nurses make a hell of a lot of money. Everybody knows that. He was helping her get into school, and wait a minute, he's the registered nurse. I'm sorry, she was a struggling artist, so now she's making big money from her art. I take it right. You didn't say that. You said encourage her to pursue her dreams. Okay, so if she's doing that and she's making lots of money, but you know what? That's the kind of thing like well, she could make a lot of money this year, next year she could make nothing or a couple of years from now. You know what I mean? That kind of income is based on people's discretionary income. So I wouldn't be crowing a little bit too much. It's very nice that she's doing that now. Bank your money and save it for when stuff isn't going as well. That's what happens in those creative fields. You have some real good ups, and then you have a crash landing. He ain't too worried about it. So if he's not worried about it, you don't worry about it. Question 15, female 31 to 39 from Brooklyn. Hi, Deb. I love your advice so much. I was wondering what you think of the trend of buying property with boyfriends/girlfriends. Well, if you had listened to any of my videos, you would already know the answer to this question. I've seen a lot of people, friends and family included, buy houses and condos with their partners without marriage. My brother's looking for a condo or co-op with his girlfriend. Most of my friends range between 26 and 40, and I've noticed an increase of them buying houses with boyfriends. I think buying property with someone you're not married to is a bit silly because the ways it can go wrong if you break up. But people say I overthink and can be a bit negative, so I try to keep an open mind. I'm writing because I'm wondering if this is something I'm going to have to accept. I'm 31 and currently finishing a degree, but I do hope to date again in a year or two. I personally would want to buy a condo for myself and another property with a husband. But I'm seeing this become the norm. Am I wrong? And should I compromise on this? Let me explain something to you. Let me see something. Wait, I'm looking at cosmic girls, all them no nos. It distracted me. Let me tell you something. Okay, just because 50 million people believe in a stupid idea or do something stupid, and you know it's stupid. Okay, you know the truth of that is it's a stupid thing to do. So why would you do it? Because you already know the truth, right? You know the truth, and you're supposed to live by the truth. The truth is just what it is. Buying property with someone that you're not married to without a contract, without all kinds of legal, parameters around it about who's going to do what and when and what happens when the relationship ends and how you distribute. I mean, you need to have all your I's dotted and all your T's crossed, and that can only be done with the advice of a solid attorney. Okay, now if you're going to be two single people doing something like that, basically you're forming a partnership, is a legal partnership, which would probably be a good idea with a tax ID number and a separate bank account and everything like that for the maintenance and upkeep and tax payment of that property because then it's like a business deal. It's not a romantic dream. But when it's a situation where people don't do that kind of stuff, and they're putting in their money and they're doing all this stuff, and there's no legal documentation about distributing that asset should this relationship end, it's a stupid, stupid, stupid thing to do. Stupid, stupid, stupid thing to do. So you're not going to do that. You're going to do just what you said here. You're going to buy your own property in your own name, and you're going to keep that in your own name. And if you get married, you're going to put your shit in a trust. That's what you're going to do. So that your beloved person, no matter how wonderful it is at the beginning, can never, ever, 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 ever touch it. Okay, never touch it. And you're going to have a separate bank account for the maintenance and the taxes and the upkeep of your property. So when you rent it out, the rent's going to go into that. And that account is what's going to use to keep that house up. Because once you use community assets to do it, then your partner basically will say that they have a claim. That's why you got to keep all that money separate, everything to do with that house separate from your marriage. Okay? So you consult with an attorney. I'm sorry, I suggest that you have your brother consult with an attorney about this so that he can hear from a professional in your, oh, you in Brooklyn. Okay, I don't know what the laws are there in New York about this kind of stuff, but he can hear from a professional the pros and cons and how he should do this and do it right if he's going to insist on doing it. Okay. Ooh, I don't know what's wrong with people. Question 16, female 31 to 39 out the UK. My partner, 35, and I, 32, have been together for nearly 4 years. It's been a very happy relationship with lots of ups and downs. However, ever since we got engaged 5 months ago, we can't seem to stop fighting. It's left me baffled to see how things could change so quickly. He's more quick tempered, yelling and walking out and sleeping in the room next door, which leaves me sad, alone, and more anxious in response. He's also working like crazy, picking up extra hours or working late into the night. We both work from home, so I try to be mindful of the added stress, but I still want to have quality time with him. Okay, then, oh, la, la, la. A month ago, we argued about his work, and he yelled at me for his ring in return and said we needed a break. It broke my heart, and I feel so deflated about wedding talk now. I'm trying really hard to build trust with him after that incident, and we're now seeing a counselor virtually. It's new and kind of helping so far, but because we're both really trying. What has stood out the most is that the therapist observed a true disconnect between us, and we're void of enthusiasm. We both sort of meh in spirits nowadays, and she noticed. She also mentioned that to this day we're still fighting about similar things. He wants space and solitude. I want to communicate and spend time together. Now I can't help but worry that we're not able to fix this. And when we fight, I can't help but feel like he's going to try and break it off with me again soon, especially when he leaves to sleep in the room next door. I love him, and before all of this, we had a blast together, but now I'm worried that we would be better off without each other. Yet my stomach churns at the simple thought of leaving and not having him in my life. Oh, who's that? Make it happen, mommy. Thank you. The wine fund. I'm worried that it'll make a mistake and it's just going to be a rough patch, or if I'll ever find anyone else, or if he will. I just don't want to be alone. I don't want him to be alone, and I want us both to be happy. His mom has told me that his childhood was rough because of his abusive father. Maybe he's lashing out at me because of the stress. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know how much longer I should continue this or if I should at all. If you have any advice, it's much appreciated. Yes, this relationship is over. You haven't even gotten married yet, and it's already all this drama. You already said you have a happy relationship with lots of ups and, of course, some downs. But in 5 months, you've been fighting for 5 months ever since you became engaged. That's usually the honeymoon period when people are the most romantic and excited and looking forward to the marriage that they're gonna form and the new household they're gonna have and all this kind of stuff. And instead, you guys are at each other's throats to the point where he asked you for the ring back. Did you give it to him? That you should have. He wanted his ring back. You should have gave him this ring and told him to get the fuck out. Get out. Take your fucked up ring with you and your bad attitude and your computer and everything else in here that's yours. Take it to your mama's house and get the fuck out of here. That's what you were supposed to tell him. But of course you didn't because you want to try to save the relationship with all alone like you have an S on your chest. I'm like, I don't know. I just can't do anything like this. Yeah, I love to say get out, with all kinds of inflections and tonal qualities. Sing it, get out. Say it in the low voice, get out. And say it in a real fucked up, motherfucker, get the fuck out. Okay, like that. So, I like to do, mix it up. But basically, it's saying the same thing. Put your ugly ass on the other side of that door and don't come back. That's what that's saying. So, yes, block is another way of doing that, but you know, that's the silent way. That's like the online way. But if you living with somebody at your house or something, then You have to do it verbally. But that's what's up, girlfriend. Your shit is over. It's over. I don't know what you're gonna do about that, but you gotta accept it. Give him his ring back and figure out what to do. Yeah, you got to mix it, mix things up. The third one, yes, that's the one that has the most, emotion behind the most power. The one that nig dogs understand best because you say stuff too nice and they act like they don't understand. They don't hear you. Question 17, number female, 31 to 39 from Canada. My close relationship with my parents and siblings is among what I am most proud of and thankful for. We've supported each other through separations, financial defeats, and illnesses. The discovery of my ex boyfriend cheating and our breakup was a shock to everyone. He was considered and treated as a full member of my family. One of my brothers even wanted to get in business with him. My brother only had praise from him, how he was a hard worker, highly skilled in his field, etc. On December 5th, I told my family that our relationship was over and everything that had happened. I have three siblings, and only the one that was supposed to get in business with my ex has shown support. In the past 3 weeks, I got no calls, no texts from my other two siblings. My youngest brother sends me tons of pictures of his toddler and baby, but never asks how I'm doing, and the oldest brother has been completely silent. What has hurt me the most is my mother's silent. She and I used to text several times a week, almost daily, and she has called me once in 3 weeks to see how I'm doing. And she starts to call with, doing anything good these days? I replied, Mom, I'm heartbroken. I cry when I get up and I cry when I go to bed. No, I'm not doing anything good. Wouldn't that tell you that your daughter's going through some tough times? She did not call or text since. Sometimes I feel like I'm like telling them I would really appreciate if they were more present for me. It's not because I'm the oldest of the family and considered strong that I don't need support and encouragement. Okay, first of all, you did not say um, how long you were with this dude, which is something that they usually say right away. Everybody wanted you to know. I mean, we've been together dating for 3 weeks. Okay, you just say he's your ex-boyfriend. And his cheating and your breakup was a shock to everyone. So, see, you left out a vital piece of information. Why were they so shocked? And it sounds like everybody's reaction is, well, you weren't with him that long anyway, so what you tripping for? That's the way it's coming across to me. Now, the one who was going in business, he's checking on you because he feels like you both was a bad judge of character. That's why he's checking with you. The rest of them are like, next, what's the big deal? Why are you crying over him? You too old for this shit. So I can tell you that's what it is. I mean, what kind of support do you want them to show you while you cry over some motherfucker that cheated on you? Let's get real here. Because I'm getting kind of irritated with you. You want to cry over and all this stuff. I mean, okay, it's done. Like I said, you can't cry over spilled milk. You can't unspill it. The motherfucker was trash. You should be happy that you discovered it before you got married to him. Had kids with him. You dodged the bullet. But instead of seeing and then appreciating the fact that he showed you his true colors before you got too involved, you want to lay in your bed and cry like a little bitch. Get up. Stop it. I don't like that kind of behavior from no grown ass woman on the downstroke to 40 years old and you crying across the bed like a teenager. Get the fuck up. That's why nobody's calling you because they don't want to hear it. Okay, you acting like a big ass baby. And you're the oldest in the family. Everybody looks to you for leadership and all that kind of stuff among your siblings. And now you want to wallow in pity because somebody cheated on you and cry about it for weeks and stuff. I could see a couple of days, but you said it's been weeks. And you've been acting like this. Nobody want to hear that shit. You wasn't married to him. You wasn't engaged to him. You don't have no kids, but he ain't your baby daddy. He nothing. Okay? He was just some motherfucker that you dated for a while and then you broke up and he cheated. See, when they cheat, I mean, it's like, yes, she said weeks. Weeks. She's been doing that. Mom, it's been weeks. You know, where did I see that? Anyway, whatever it was. She's like, oh, here it is. Okay. Okay, she has called me once in 3 weeks to see how I am doing. So that means it's been at least 3 weeks that she's been acting like this, right? At least that long. But she said she's called me once in 3 weeks, so it could have been, maybe the mother called before that. But it's been 3 weeks since the last time she called. I don't really know, but whatever it is, it's been weeks that she's been acting like this. That's too long for somebody this old. That's what teenagers do. Yeah. She's in the 31 to 39 age group. So that's what I say she's in the downstroke to 40. Okay. Acting like this. Acting like she's 15. Throwing herself across the bed and crying. I'm heartbreaking. Broken. I cry when I get up and I cry to go to bed when I go to bed. I'm going through a tough time. You going through a tough time in your damn imagination. Stop it. I wouldn't call you either. Question number 18, female, 22 to 30 from Exeter, Devon, UK. So I went out with this person and came to find out that he lied about his name and his age. I'm trying to find the right time to confront this idiot. He is at least 14 years older than his profile said he was. Wow. I'm so disappointed, especially after giving online dating a chance. How should I bring this up at some point? The next time he calls, you say, "What's up, old motherfucker?" And then he's gonna be like, "What are you talking about? I found out how old you really are, Grandpa. Ain't nobody trying to be with you. Get off my phone. Go in there and use your Grecian formula and shit like you supposed to be doing, and stop trying to change young women. Ain't nobody interested in you and your Viagra needing ass. Get out of here." No, she has to say that first. So you must crush him first. Then you hang up and then you block him. But you have to say these things to him because he thinks he's running some game. And you got to expose him and then you got to crush him. Crush his feelings. Because he trying to act like he young. Motherfucker, your ass you can't hardly pass for somebody 15 years younger than what you say you are. You are not that good looking. You a legend in your imagination. So no, you get your old creepy ass off my phone and go find you somebody that's more appropriate for your age, and leave me alone. Oh no, no, yes, yeah. Oh, and use his real name. Yes, Fee says use his real name. Make sure you do that too, and his real age, and just bust him out. Then you hang up and then you block him. Okay. Old fool. I can't stand old men who try to do that shit. Trying to come up on some young trim. Like she would know your ass was old when you pulled your clothes off and she saw that crepey skin and that sagging shit that men get when they don't have good muscle tone. Question number 19, male, 31 to 39, out of Santa Clara, California. My wife has landed a role with the company I work for, working within a different department but the same building. I do not enjoy the idea of working together for the same company or within that close proximity on a daily basis. We already have marital problems, and I'd hate to bring anything like that to work. I have the thought of that sticking with me throughout my workday. There's nothing I'm hiding at work. I just feel that it's not a good plan due to work sort of our being our time apart. I'm at the point where I'm thinking about applying out and leaving my current company to avoid this altogether. I'd appreciate any feedback or advice on how to best handle the situation. Well, if you can do that, then do it. I mean, if it's bothering you that much, I mean, see, in these times, you know how many millions of people filed for unemployment last month? So many people don't have a job. If your wife was one of them people that didn't have a job and now she finally got one, it just happened to be at the company that you working for, and you're not even thinking about that. All you thinking about is the fact that you have to see her at work. Well, sir, you should consider yourself lucky. So many people just want somebody in the house to have a job. You got two people that have a job, so you really don't have anything to complain about. That's where I'm looking at this. You're just being a little bitch. So, suck it up, cupcake, and just deal with it. But if you can go and find you another job in the middle of COVID, then do it. Whatever makes works for you. Question number 20. We got 22 questions, so we're getting near to the end. Female, 31 to 39 from Liverpool. Bear with me because this may be long. Oh, no. Hmm. Okay, I lost my husband in an accident about 10 days before the first lockdown. Oh, no. My condolences. Our second daughter was born about a month before that, and we have a toddler too. So I had a lot to deal with, and it's been a shitty year, I say. Hubs and I were friends with a couple we met at university. I met the woman, let's call her Linda. He met this guy, let's call him Jack, and we introduced them to each other. Hubs and Jack had a bust up a year or so after we began dating over his treatment of me. Lots of pervy comments and occasionally aggressive when drunk. Oh no. He decided to drop him as a friend because of it, but 6 weeks later, Jack showed up with Linda and they have been together ever since. We moved to a small London suburb where I grew up about 7 years ago when we got married. Then 6 months later, they moved a few roads away and I introduced Linda to my friends, etc., etc. I found out 2 years ago from Linda that Jack was having an affair with a much younger sister of one of my friends. I was supportive to her and she decided to stay and work things out. But when my husband died, Linda was there every day and it was great, but I started to feel smothered. I just wanted some time by myself. I decided to take all three of my children to our holiday home in France for 6 weeks, and it was amazing. My parents and in-laws came to stay a couple of weeks too. Linda kept pushing to come and see us and stay for a couple of weeks with her children and with Jack. To be honest, it was worded like she was worried about me, but the incessant badgering just felt like she actually wanted a free holiday in France. That's what I was thinking. I said no very firmly after weeks of it, and she sent me a long message about friendship and gratitude. But here's the problem. Well, finally, I barely heard from Jack since March, but last month I joined them all to see an outdoor Christmas lights attraction. Jack made some really inappropriate comments during the outing and asked when I would be looking for someone new. At this, I told him he was disgusting and left. He then sent me an explicit text a week later. I told him he was disgusting, and here's where I may have made a mistake. I sent a screenshot of the message and a summary of his behavior to his wife. Linda has decided that I want to steal her disgusting husband and sent me some vile messages. She has also told all of my friends that I'm on the lookout for a new man and they should keep an eye on their husbands. I've since had messages from 3 of my friends berating me, and I've been removed from all of my friendship WhatsApp groups and blocked by at least 4 other friends. I'm so confused because he made passes at a few of these women before, and it's very well known that neither my husband nor I liked him. I've never felt so alone. What do I do? Girl, you should be up dancing the cabbage patch and doing the nay nay and all kind of stuff. Enjoy that you have in one fell swoop cleaned the trash out of your life. Okay? See, it's all in perspective. You guys get stuck on like, oh, they don't want me and all this old shit. Who are these people that you should be happy that they want you? Okay? I mean, let's think about this like logically now. They're trash. You said that the women, he hit on the women too, but they're still going to side with her and they're going to side with the abuser type dude over you. Trash bitches. Linda's a trash bitch. She already knows her husband cheats and she want to stay with him anyway. Okay, so she should know that that's how he. I mean, you don't just cheat by magic. Pussy don't just rain down from the sky and then you trip and fall into it. A dude has to like work to get it. He has to set it up. He talks to the woman. He flirts with the woman. He does all the stuff right. So she knows that if he's already cheated, that he's already this is likely his behavior pattern, right? If she was thinking at all, she would have figured this out. And so here's somebody confirming it for you and even showing you written form of it, and you want to try to make it her fault. See, trash. He's trash. His wife is trash. All those friends that you introduce him to that's downside with them are trash. So you have cleaned all of your life out. You've moved it out. Now, what would I suggest? I suggest you probably got some money. You got a house in France and all this shit. The house that you live in now, leave that house. Leave that town. I mean, it's nice that you grew up there and all that kind of stuff, but you can live somewhere else. Okay? Move your kids and move yourself to a new place and forget you ever knew any of those people. It's probably a good idea anyway because you don't want to be in the same house where your husband lived, where he died. No, it's just too much. It's too much. So, you want to get a fresh start and make sure you sell the bed that y'all's marital beds, get rid of that, get you a new bed. And, you want to clean energy out, and that includes them in your life as well, and move to a new place with your kids and start over. Okay? That's what you need to do. I don't see what I've never felt so alone. Girl, I'm telling you, you ought to be happy. You have received blessings from the universe. Your husband left you, but it created they'd say one door closes and another opens. You now have an endless, vast, and just wonderful expanse of opportunities in front of you if you just have the courage to take advantage of it and pack your kids up and move. Okay, because nothing at that town, you grew up there, but that again is the past. Okay, there's nothing that that town offers you that you can't find somewhere else. Okay, so move. Get out of there. Get way far away from them. Shit, you got a homes in France and shit. Obviously, you can speak French. Girl, why don't you just move to another country? You don't want to stay in the other house? Is it a school nearby? Yes, there's a summer house, but I mean, I don't know what it's like, but there's opportunities here that you're not really thinking about because you're still stuck on, them abandoning you and all this old stuff. Girl, please. I would be so moved to put that house up for sale and be the fuck up out of there. Question 21. I am a male 22 to 30 from Indiana. I am a 25-year-old white male with a 25-year-old white female roommate. I know you said it's not important, but I wanted to tell you that anyway because dot 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 well because okay. The problem is that I recently asked her to put on more clothes when she's in front of me and when guests are over, and it's caused a huge issue, and I'm not sure what to do moving forward. We've been roommates for about 10 months now. I knew her from college. We hung out in the same friend group and had some classes together. We weren't extremely close, but we knew each other well enough, I guess. When we graduated, we were looking in the same apartment complex, so we decided to room together. I had a job while she did not yet, and my name was on the lease, so I make slightly higher payments. At first, everything seemed pretty normal. She stayed in her room a lot, and I stayed in mine. We would watch TV or eat together at times, but not much more than that. She was clean and overall nice to live with. Well, but since the COVID craziness, she's always here. She seems to have changed a good bit. For one thing, she's definitely more messy. She doesn't clean up well after herself. Another thing that I started to notice is her lack of care for me seeing her nude. At first was her walking around in a towel or her underwear. Then it moved on to just walking in the living room with zero clothes on. I didn't really know what to say. She made no acknowledgement of it at all. This bitch is crazy. The weirdest part was when I was sitting in the living room watching TV and she walked in there naked, sat across from me on the couch, and just started eating. She also doesn't make an effort to put clothes on while my friends and guests are over. She acts like nothing is going on, that there's no problems at all. Wow. I don't even know what to say. This is just so bizarre. Okay. Well, finally, I decided that I had to talk to her about it, and I told her it was uncomfortable seeing her without clothes on all the time. I explained how it was making me and my guests uncomfortable and that it was just weird that she'd do that. She got defensive and said she didn't see how that was wrong. She explained how this is her place too and that she's the right to do this. She said that she's not flirting or doing anything wrong or harassing, so she doesn't know what the problem is. She said that she'd be okay if I did the same thing. I bet she would. I told her that if she doesn't start to put clothes on, she would need to move out. She said, I'm the one that needs to move out since she's not doing anything wrong. But I thought your name was the one that was on the lease. Since then, we haven't spoke. I tried to stay in my room while she's made a point to hang around without clothes on in our living room. How do I handle things going forward? What do I do? You are going to give her an eviction notice, whatever, because you're the landlord. Your name's the one on the lease, right? So you're going to give her an eviction notice of whatever they can do, 30 days or whatever, till they get the fuck out. Now, this is how you can get her out faster. Now, you sound like a nice guy. Now, she's not raised on here. She's just getting, crazy. Some people are defected by this, the shelter in place thing where they have to stay inside and they start kind of losing it. I don't know. Even in that for we know the girl's supposed to have medications that she has been taking or something. I don't really know what her story is, but I'm just saying that is the story for some people I know who have behaved in similar ways during this lockdown stuff. Okay, so what you gonna do, you and your friends, the next time she comes pulls that stunt, you and your friends, you all gonna have to practice this beforehand. You gonna clown her ass into oblivion. You're gonna say rude, fucked up shit to her, like, "Who the fuck you think want to look at all that pasty boniness? Girl, go put some fucking clothes on. You look like a wet chicken. You're not turning nobody on if that's what you thought. You look disgusting. You're pale. You're pasty. You're bony. You don't have no kind of muscle tone. This and that and blah blah blah. Your face is this. Your body's that. Your hair is this other thing. Drag her." Drag her from her head to her toes and saying you want to put that shit on display like it's something to be proud of. You ought to be hiding in a burqa, bitch. You look like a fool walking around here without no clothes on. Like somebody want to see that shit. It's not a term. It's making my dick shrivel up right looking at you. Shit like that. You say some real fucked up shit to her like that, she will run to her room and put on some clothes. And see, I just thought of all of that just off the top of my head. So it just shows you I'm just an evil bitch. But I mean, I'm just trying to say some stuff like, some stuff I would say worse things to her because woman to woman I would just really drag her, and then you could also say then you want to sit on the furniture and stuff, put your pussy juice all over the shit and make fungus and shit grow on my furniture, bitch. Get the fuck out. I want you out of my house. All kind of stuff. You know what I mean? A little firebug over there. you don't. You got to clown her. You got to clown her. And if all of you join in and do it together and gather around her and intimidate her and talk about her like right to her face and tell her how ugly and stuff she is, she will flee to her room and you will never have that problem again. And she will move out when you give her your eviction notice because every time they come over, they gonna repeat the same thing. Like your chicken head ass still sitting up here, nasty bitch. All kind of stuff like that. You say stuff like that to her, she'll move out real quick. Yeah, but see, you only give it an eviction notice and then you proceed with the eviction tactics. You know, you're going to push her up out. She going to want to get the fuck about your house. Because every time your friends come over, they going to clown and they going to hurt all her feelings. See, so that's what she needs. She needs a reality check. So everybody being so nice to her, you guys are being so tolerant, and she's knowing that, you have got to clown her into oblivion and hurt every feeling she ever thought she had. She walk around thinking she's so fly and beautiful. You just drag her. Tell her, yo ass, nobody want to look at that shit. I don't know what makes you think you look cute, hot, or whatever. Yeah, crush and evict. I like that phrase. But that's what you would have to do, sir. And stop being nice and hiding. Stop hiding in your room. Get out there and get your friends over and plan your attack. Okay? Let them go buck wild on her ass. They're not to touch her though. Make sure that everybody understands you don't touch her. Do not touch her. Don't touch her. But they're going to say everything they would ever think to say nasty. Okay? But you make sure you put those boundaries in place. Then none of them are to reach out and touch her body at all, because then that's going to be an issue for you and for them too. Yeah, she does need her own place, but she was talking about, well, this is my place too. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, is it really? Let's see about that. And you start to work her every nerve. Like I said, you do that a time or two, she'll put on clothes. She'll be happy to put on some clothes. She'll run out the apartment too. You probably won't even have to give her an eviction notice. She'll be looking to get out of there herself. Because every time they come over, they're going to repeat that scenario until she leaves. Okay? That's how you do that. Question number 22, female 18 to 21, Los Angeles area, California. This situation is so small, yet to me it feels so big. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 3 years now, and we are both 21. Dang, only 21? We practically live together, except right now we are home from college and living with our families. He comes from an upper middle class background, while my family lived off of food stamps until a few years ago. As a result, I'm pretty frugal and like to be a bit smarter with my purchases. If I want something expensive, I wait until it's on sale. I try to find it at a thrift store. My boyfriend is very, if I like it, I buy it kind of person. And for a while, this has bothered me. However, because we're only dating, I don't care too much. But tomorrow's my mom's birthday, and she only likes coffee flavored cake. We didn't have instant coffee in the house, and since my boyfriend was going grocery shopping for his family, I asked him to pick me up the cheapest, smallest box of coffee he could find. I would pay him back. I repeated multiple times that it needs to be cheap, and he knows to call me in case the price seems a bit high for my opinion. He comes back and asks me for $1 for a box of coffee that has like 10 packets in it. I was so upset. He knows me. He knows that I would never pay that. I asked him why he didn't call me to ask, and he said it's just coffee. I make $200 a month, and $10 is a ton of money for me to pay for coffee, especially since I'm used to paying $5 for a giant amount from a store near my house. We live 1 mile apart. Now he keeps offering to pay me back, and it just makes me feel shitty. Overall, I just feel uncomfortable even asking him to run an errand again, but mostly I feel like he'll just never understand my point of view here. Is this normal or am I overreacting? I know I'm just ranting about coffee, but I feel so upset right now. You're feeling upset because you realize this spells doom for your relationship. Yes, she does have a scarcity mentality, but she's balancing it with frugality. The girl only makes $200 a month. Okay, wouldn't you have a scarcity mentality if you only had $200 a month? Okay, let's be real here. That's not, you can't spend, $10 on 5 packs of coffee. So what you can do is get him to give you that $10 back. You know why? Because he's the one who thought it was such a grand and wonderful idea to purchase it. He would be paying for it. And then whatever you didn't use for your mother's cake, you give it back to him and say, here's your coffee, the rest of it. Okay, now in the future, no, you don't send him to buy you anything that has money on it. I mean, where he has to choose money to buy it, what amount to spend rather. Unless you already have it on hold, it's already paid for, whatever, he's just picking it up for you, then you can do it. Or you tell him a specific brand and size and all that, and then you know that the store carries it, and then he'll get that thing. But if you just say get the smallest, cheapest box that he could find, well, he's not used to looking at shopping that way. So he's just going to grab with the first thing he sees, right? And, but what I see though is you two have a completely different value system when it comes to money. I saved the heavy stuff for last. This kind of thing here is what breaks up marriages. Now you're only dating him, and you can see that this value that he has, if I want it, I buy it, and he's used to doing that. That's never going to change. Okay, you're going to either have to adjust yourself, or just move on to another guy who's got a view about money like you do. You'll feel more comfortable with him. You're going to constantly be on edge with this dude, and if you merge your money with him, just think of that marriage. Okay, so you guys have this joint account. You got a joint account now, and the money's in there, and he sees something he wants. You know you need to buy these things. You've earmarked so much money for this and that. The money's just sitting there waiting for you to go and buy this thing that you budgeted for. He sees some toy he wants that costs like this game table thing, $700. And it's not fighting over $10, Lily. It's the principle behind it. You're not understanding this. This is a value conflict. This is not about $10. Don't get stuck on minutia here. This is not about the coffee. This is about him spending way over and above frivolously while she is a broke student, and he's trying to spend her money frivolously, and she's reacting to that very negatively. That's what that is. So he definitely needs to give her $10 back. That's what he needs to do. I mean, nobody, she said cheapest. $10 coffee is exact. Even I wouldn't buy no $10 coffee. And I make plenty of money. But you know what I mean? I like her, I look for sales. I'm not going to waste my money. Now, if I want it, I'm going to figure out a way to get it, but I might not buy it now. I might do like she did and wait till it goes sale. I'm going to get online and I'm going to type the product in and see where it has a lower price. Because when you do the shopping button on Google, it shows you all the places where it's available and who has free shipping. All kind of stuff you can do to save money and get what you want. But he's not that type. He's just going to see it first store he sees it at. He wants it. He's going to get it. So when you marry somebody, though, see, he would go into your account and wipe out $10,000 buying some rims for his car or something, even though it wasn't budgeted or whatever. And it would send her into a tailspin of depression and worry because that's not how her life, that's how she operates. That does not make her feel secure and stable, his spending habits like that. So these are things that for couples, this is critical. They have to be on the same page about how they handle money, as well if they're gonna have children, how they would discipline their children. No, he soon as he came in talking about give me $10, I told her you better stick that coffee up your ass. I'm not giving you $10 for that. That'll leave me $190 for the rest of the month, and $10 of it went on some damn coffee. Are you tripping right now? That's what I would have told him. And then he would have been like, oh, well, this is a gift then for your mom. That's all he could have been. He could have done it that way. So, you got to understand, Lily, it's not, um, it's not about the coffee. It's not about the coffee. It's his spending of her money so cavalierly. Like what? It was only $10, you know. And that's not how she operates. And since he's been with her for 3 years, he knows that. So he just totally disregarding her concerns and her feelings. That does not bode well for this relationship. If he's supposed to be, yeah, he came in with the coffee and asked her for the $10. Exactly, Cosmic Girl. That's what I'm saying. People are kind of up and I noticed some of the chat comments. People were ragging on her um, about it. And he's like, you got to understand as a broke student, your money, you know, you you can't think like that. I mean, some of us we used to go to a place where they had the endless cup of coffee, right? And we would go and we get one cup of coffee. This is in pre-COVID days, so people didn't really trip about. We would, people shared cigarettes, shared joints, shared lipstick, all kind of stuff. People that different times, and somebody would drink the coffee, and then we would get a refill and pass the cup to the other person. That person would drink the coffee, and then we get refill, and back and forth. So we only had to pay for one cup of coffee, stuff like that. That's what we used to do to save money, little things. But it saves money, especially students always drinking coffee. Or we bring something and pour it in there and then take it, put it back in our backpack or something, and then we have coffee for the day for free. Something like that. You have to think about stuff like that when you're a broke student. But no, he just, this is going to be a constant battle for her. And I unfortunately see where if she marries this guy, they'll end up divorced. She'll be so fucking stressed out all the time. And he will do something that will just destroy them both financially because he just doesn't have the concept. So, think about think about what I'm saying here. I'm not saying that you break up with the guy, but you made it a point to say, it doesn't bother me too much that he's like this because we're only dating. Well, at some point you keep dating him, then something else is gonna come on the timeline. Y'all gonna be living together and sharing finances, or you going to be married and sharing finances. So the only way out of that is for you to stay exactly like you are, or to break up and find you somebody that you're more compatible with in that way. So you have to think about it. I can't make that decision for you. All I can tell you is that this man with this attitude is not a good match for you with your history and your attitude about money. One of you would have to change. Okay. Yeah, we did. We used to share, everybody share everything. Lipstick, we get one lipstick. It's my turn. I'm using it. We all using it. And, but it was different. You buying some Lancome and shit. Everybody ain't got money to buy no Lancome lipstick, but we still want to have it. So we just share it. That's how we did. Everybody put in, three girls, and we put in our money or two, and then we buy it and then we just share it. That's how we did things. And didn't nobody got no disease or nothing. We all lived and we all, healthy and happy people. But like I said, those were different times. So anyway, that is the show for today. That was 22 questions of wow for What the Fuck Tuesday. As we gear up still, still gearing up for February. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, please hit that subscription button and hit the like button before you leave today. We're still taking guest suggestions. So if you know somebody, not a YouTuber, I'm looking for people who are like, therapists and authors and, psychologists and, I don't know what they call them, life coaches and, these kind of people to come in, even like financial experts, um, attorneys, because, we need to talk about this thing here about this thing about people wanting to buy houses together. That would be an interesting thing because how does that really impact people? All kind of topics have come up on the community wall. There is a survey where you can respond to the question about what mistakes you've made as a woman. A lot of those will be repackaged as topics for February and future shows as well. So that we got a lot coming up for you guys in 2021. Is going to be a fabulous year. I'm gonna be right here with you, holding your hand and guide you through to be greater later and the best you that you can be. So, yeah, that was it for What the Fuck Tuesday. I will see you all real, real soon. Take care. Okay. Have a happy new year. I'll see you on the other side. Bye bye.